All righty now, we're live. Let's see what we got tonight. Got a couple people already showing up. That's cool. Come on in the house. Monica, what's up? You're first. And you won the grand prize. You won the grand prize of seeing me tonight. Whoops. Oh, let's see. Trying to get everything. Yeah, you're still first. Oh, so what's everybody up to tonight? Jeremy Albritton. Oh my, that's a name I haven't seen in a long time. How's it going? SD Mountain Man, what's going on? Fletcham Outdoors, what's happening, brother? Jeremy, we doing all right? How about yourself? Let's see here. Whoop. Oh. Daniel, how you doing? SD Mountain Man says he's got to finish chores and then supper and then a board meeting. Not in that order. About like me, bro. I hear you, Jeremy. Daniel, how you doing, buddy? Big Matt, what's happening? Everybody else saying hey to everybody in the chat. Cool beans. You got the old 1-9er. I hear you. I understand it. Just don't cough on your computer. You'll give it a virus. I know that feeling, Daniel. I drive a lot in my line of work too, and luckily, I did not have to drive today. I was in the office. Tomorrow, I'll be in the office. Tina Ladybug, how you doing? Hey, Kathy, is this Kathy or David? Hey, Irene, how you doing? Oh my goodness. Well, I got Kathy's name up here, but I got a feeling David's in there somewhere. Got both. Okay. Coastal, what's up there, bro? David, this is my last one. I found this in my truck. So this is the last one I got. Anti, what's happening, bro? Unsweetened tea drinkers united, represented. Oh, man, that is nasty stuff. All right, Irene, appreciate it. Long day at work? Yes, it was. Yeah, that was quite interesting, bro. I need some more. Ooh, everybody's still saying hello to everybody. Awesome, cool. Got 8 in the house. If you haven't already, do me a big, huge favor and hit that thumbs up button. I sure would appreciate it. Hey, Coastal, I don't know if John is in here yet, but we ain't got much. I mean, I'm not talking ducks or anything. I'm talking anything y'all want to talk about. But Doc, you want to come up here? You want to come up here with me? If John gets in here, we'll bring John up too. I don't see him. Jeremy, you want to come up? Jeremy, Doc, let's get some fishing people up here tonight. I got a couple of questions I want to ask anyway. Let me know if you want to come up. All right. Hey, Joe, what's going on? All right. Well, just let me know when y'all want to come up. I do got a couple of questions I want to ask. You did? Well, I ain't got it. Well, that ain't it. All right, guys. Any of y'all duck hunters out there? Duck hunters, turkey hunters, varmint hunters. Y'all need a duck call lanyard or a duck strap or a turkey tote or a varmint tote. Anything like that, y'all need to go get a hold of David Henson. You can look it up at Flatwood Lanyards on Facebook. Y'all need to get that order in now because he does duck hunt and duck season is on the way. Well, that's not a reason, Jeremy. I've eaten on cam. I got it. Whoa. Well, I appreciate that, Jeremy. Our duck season down here in South Carolina, it starts Thanksgiving week. And it's on for about a week, and then it closes down and it reopens back in December, about mid-December, and then it runs again till the end of January. Carl, Dark 30 Outdoors. How you doing? Appreciate that very much, Jeremy. Yeah, I mean, you got to understand, they just haven't gotten here yet. There's no sense in opening it up and they ain't here. Hey, y'all still got them all right now. Yeah, I know. That is a problem. Fletcham, that is a problem. It has been warm up north. It's just as warm north of y'all, and it's just not pushing anything down. Ducks need three things, buddy. They need food, water, and rest. And as long as they got open water and food and rest, they ain't going nowhere. The only thing that's going to push them off then is weather. Cold front coming this weekend. How cold is it supposed to get where you're at, Kyle? Jeremy, y'all got a cold front as well? Oh, well, that'll push a few. Oh, Miss Francis, how you doing? What's up, little Matt? How you doing, buddy? What's going on? Yep, I got to do this for my grandson who's in here. That's awesome. Well, y'all need to bring him on down here. Y'all need to bring him on down here and drop him off for 2 or 3 days. It can Fletcher, make that weather can change quick. But yeah, I was talking to to Cody, and he said this is the warmest he's seen it. November 20th to January 9th. Yeah, it's just not even cold here yet. Hey, Doc, it's in the chat. Water temps are going down, so which is most important? Yep. Yeah, if John is in here lurking, I want him up here too. Mark J, what's up there, brother? The killer of elk. I bet you are. I bet you're happy in one way and then not so happy in the other. Okay, guys, we're going to keep it clean tonight. Looks like we got Doc in here, and we got a little youngin' with Doc, so we're going to have to keep everything. Everything has to be clean. All right?
Hey.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Hey, little girl.
Say hey, Avery.
Hi.
What's your name?
What's your name?
Avery.
Avery.
Yeah,
like
this
the
is
Avery decoys?
This is my littlest one. This is Avery.
Okay. So how are you today?
Good.
Good. Well, that's good. That's awesome.
What'd you do today?
I played.
You played?
You played?
Yeah.
Mhm. And that's all I did.
That's all you did?
What
You
else
didn't
did
do
you do, Dad?
I just want to play for the whole day.
Yeah, you didn't do any fishing or hunting? No? No? All right.
Hey, John, how you doing tonight? So you've been fishing. I guess you had work today, right?
Yeah, I had work today. All day.
Yeah.
It was a long one, man. We had a faculty meeting after work, and that lasted good old long time. And then I had some stuff I had to take care of after that. So I didn't get home till dang near like almost 6 o'clock. So long day.
Yeah. Okay.
So came home and I started to drop some footage from. I went out for a little bit on Sunday, and got some footage of some stick bait fishing that I'm going to make a video of. So I dropped that footage and then started getting dinner ready. And we got her fed. Got the big one off to dance. She's at dance practice. So finished dinner.
And the new logo.
What about the new logo?
There's palm trees.
What are you talking about?
At Kinsley's dance.
Oh, at Kinsley's dance. I thought you were talking about like my new logo. That you confused me. You're normally really talkative. How come you're not talkative right now?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know?
Yeah, I just don't know.
You just don't know?
I don't know.
You leaving?
No,
No?
I was slipping.
Oh, okay.
Hey, George, how you doing, buddy? I got a question for you, man. I mean,
What's up?
It's just on all y'all's videos, at least the ones I've seen and that I can remember. All you use is spinning tackle. Do you ever use baitcasters?
I do. John and Lindia will throw. They throw all spinning tackle.
Yeah.
I throw. I'll throw the baitcaster every now and again, depending upon what I'm using. What do you got? A big jerk? What is that? Oh, yeah, it's a big. That's a big jerk turned inside out. Okay. Sorry, folks. She's distracting. Yeah, no, I'll throw a bait caster every now and again, especially if I'm throwing like a crankbait or a spinner bait, any kind of faster moving bait. I'll throw one of those, or if I'm using something, because I have a bait caster that I'll use if I'm like, it's not a flipping and pitching stick, but I'll use that because I don't have like a designated flipping and pitching stick.
Right.
One of the videos that I did when I went out with Kenny and caught that 5.5 pounder on Chovy flipping and pitching, I was actually using one of his rigs, and but I have one that's like a 6.6 medium heavy with and that one's got 60-pound braid, or I'm sorry, that one's got 40-pound braid on it, and I use that one if I'm using anything heavier. So, but yeah, I'll use a bait caster every now and again.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of the time I'm using spinning tackle.
Yeah, I've noticed that in both of y'all's videos, and I was just and I meant to ask you the other night, but we got sidetracked big time.
Right.
It just went woo.
Shocking our life goes sideways, and we start getting off on tangents and start talking about some other weird stuff,
But yeah, I was just kind of curious because I mean, I do have some. I mean, I use both. I mean, the only time I use spinning tackle is when I'm flipping a or pit, worm fishing.
Right.
Whether it's John, you want to come up here?
Hey,
we just got to keep it cool.
John said, "Hey, Avery," he's waving. Wave to John. That's John right there. Wave to John right here by the camera. Wave to John. There you go. Is John your buddy? Yeah.
Sometimes he means yours.
Well, yeah, of course sometimes he's my buddy. He's my buddy all the time.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like I grew up, using spinning tackle. Here, why don't you go in and wait for Sissy to get home? She should be home soon, okay? All right, say bye to everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Miss Avery.
Bye.
Ugh.
Bye, John.
She said bye, John. I don't know if you heard her. Yeah, I grew up using spinning tackle,
Right.
and then started throwing bait casters, here and there. But most of the time, it's spinning tackle for what I do.
Right.
You could easily use a bait caster for it, but for me, I feel more comfortable with the spinning tackle, doing the Cinco or stick bait fishing, or throwing the top water stuff like John and I do in Lindia. Just a little bit easier,
Right.
The
only time I use if I'm fishing soft plastic is basically when I use a spinning rod. And I don't know why. It's usually reversed for most people. But I'm more precise with a bait caster. I can put it where I want it, whereas a spinning rod, and I fish a lot of tight stuff. So I'm up at, y'all are pretty much, from what I've seen, y'all are wide open. And but for me, up in the swamps and in the trees and stuff, I just can't skip a bait with a spinning rod. I just can't get that precise. But with a bait caster, I can underhand flip it. I can get it right up in there and do what I need to do.
Yeah, most of the waters that we're fishing, like headwaters and Donkeyland and those types of areas. Yeah, it is pretty much wide open, and we're fishing those it's a lot of grass. It's a lot of hydrilla,
Right.
submerged grass, and it's wide open areas. And pretty much all we fish is okay, all right. Got distracted by the little one. So
Squirrel.
But most of the time when we're out there, we're throwing soft plastics all day. There was I don't know, the last time I was out with John and Lindia on headwaters, it was soft plastics in the morning, for me using the Bruiser Baits Big Jerk,
Right.
Most of the time, and then I switched over to a crankbait, and I was actually throwing that crankbait on one of my bait casters.
Okay.
That I brought, so like when I'm throwing something like that, I'll probably I'll use it on the bait caster, just because it's just my bait casting reels have a little bit more length and a little bit more beef to them. So when I'm throwing something like a crankbait or a lipless crank or something like that, I'll throw it on that. But yeah, a lot of the areas, some areas will have to be precise in how we're throwing, and I don't know. I've just been using spinning setup so long, I'm able to skip them under docks and do that kind of stuff with them. I mean, I can do it with a bait caster. It's just I already have the spinning combos set up for all the soft plastics that we're normally throwing when we're out there. So instead of switching over, I just go ahead and just keep reusing different. I'll use different soft plastics on the spinning combos.
Now, what do you use when you're throwing like that big jerk bait? That one you had, yeah.
This one right here.
On your spinning rig, what are you using as far as rod and reel combo and line?
Okay, so this one, most of the time, my stuff's hung up. I got it all hung up right now, but most of the time I'm using my Ducket Silverado, and that is 7 foot medium heavy. And then depending upon where I'm at, I'll switch out the reels on that. I will, if we're out at like Donkeyland or Headwaters, I'll put my 4000 Shimano Sedona on that rod, just because it has more line capacity and I'm able to get a little bit more distance out of the cast. Because when John and Lindy and I are out there fishing, we're making long casts to where we're trying to target. So it's long cast. So I'll put the 4000 on it. But if I'm a little bit closer to home and fishing some of the smaller ponds, because there's no big lakes around where I'm at. So when I'm down here at home, I'm usually fishing smaller ponds or smaller lakes. So I'll put the Sedona 3000, the Shimano 3000 on that Ducket Silverado. That's my go-to rod. John and Lindy had turned me on to the Ducket rods, and I bought one, or actually got it for Christmas one year, and I absolutely love the Ducket Silverado. Yeah. The Ducket stuff is great. But I also have a couple Lose rods, which I really like too. But most of the stuff is usually 7 foot or longer, maybe like 7.5. And I'm usually using a 3000 or a 4000, or depending upon the company, Lose calls it a 300. Shimano calls it a 3000. So I'll use like a 300 or 400 or 4000 on any one of those rods, anywhere that we're fishing on here. But like the bigger waters that we fish, like Headwaters and Donkeyland, I'm throwing the 4000.
Right. Okay. What about line? Is it all braided?
Yo.
Yeah. I'm all braid. Very rarely will I tie on like a fluorocarbon or a monofilament leader. Because down here in Florida, our water is it's so stained enough that it's not, for me, I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. I really don't. I use low vis green, using the Bruiser Baits, Goat Rope, or even Power Pro in low vis green, and I'll go anywhere between 20 pound to 40 pound with the braid. Obviously, if you're flipping and pitching, you want to tie on maybe 50 or 60 with the braid, just to because you're trying to yank them up out of there. But right. like John always says, braid will pull a boat out of the water.
Yeah.
So, and that's all I have on there. I'm using braid. It's very rare that I'll tie on a leader, like a fluorocarbon. But if I do tie on a fluorocarbon leader, I'll usually do like anywhere between a 12 or a 15 pound fluorocarbon leader, maybe about like 2 feet long. If the water's a little clear and I think the fish are a little line shy, if I'm bottom fishing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, all my spinning rods are rigged with braid. I use Power Pro low vis, and I mean I don't go anything over 20 because I just don't need to.
Right.
Yeah.
We got very little vegetation that would, there's some cut grass that might cut through it on occasion, but I'm not throwing in there. It's usually I'm throwing on the outside of it, and we got stumps and logs, and that's about it. But I run braid on my spinning. I used to run braid on my bait casting years ago, the old braid, the old style braid.
Okay.
But
spider wire.
Spider wire.
This was pre-spider wire.
Oh Lord. I know what you're talking about then.
This is mostly cat gut. Cat gut braid.
That's multicolored thread. That ain't
Yeah.
that ain't braid.
Hey Cody, how you doing? Who else? I saw somebody else came in here. If I missed you, I'm sorry, guys. Sorry that I missed you. But we're just talking a little bit of anything and everything tonight. Kind of started off with some fishing stuff. See what's going on. Jeremy, I'll ask you the same question. I know you crappie fish mostly, but I do know that you bass fish a little bit.
Oh yeah. No, actually, bass fishing is more than crappie fishing for me. That's that's bass fishing is my big deal. I mean, the crappie fishing's a whole lot easier to show on YouTube than it is the bass fishing.
I got to tell you,
it is. It's easier to record, and it's a lot easier.
Yeah,
and it's a lot. I'm finding a lot more popular because some of our most popular videos that we do down here in Okeechobee between myself and John and Lindia. I mean, those crappie videos that we do on Lake Okeechobee, they get thousands of views.
Oh, they blow up. So that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's a big thing
fishing
nowadays.
Yeah.
Back 10 years ago, you didn't hear nothing about these big crappie trails going across the United States. I mean, it was back before Live Scope and all that. You didn't hear about all this stuff. But nowadays, Live Scope's out. These big crappie tournaments are a big thing now. I mean, they're a huge deal. And like I said, the only reason I really do crappie fishing per se is it's easier to record. It's easier to put on YouTube. I mean, but seriously, I'm a bass fisherman more than a crappie fisherman all day. But
so
anyway,
are you throwing bait casting or spinning or a mixture?
I have one fairy one.
Do you?
I'm not trying to say that in a bad way. That's just what me and my partner call them, as fairy wands.
Yeah. I actually knew what you were talking about. So,
but now, like I said, I'm not saying that in a bad way, but that's just what we call them, And,
I have some friends of mine that when I break out a spinning
rod,
rod, they do the same thing. They like, what can you're not bass fishing. Were you trying to crappie fish or what?
Hey, I tell you what though, that spinning rod has won me a decent amount of money in tournaments. Yeah. I mean, it carries its weight. There's no doubt about that. Now, as far as different baits I put, there ain't but two baits I throw on it. I throw a shaky head and a weightless trick worm. That's all I throw on it. That's it. But I mean, that thing actually, I mean, especially if you're in a pinch and needing a bite, you can pick up that spinning reel and catch them. But I'm the same way. Like, you use nothing but braid. I've got two reels in there. I've got one with monofilament on it, and one with fluorocarbon. The fluorocarbon is 20-pound test. I mean, and I use that for my worm rod, and that's it. And I don't need anything other than that because water's so stained.
Right.
Excuse me. But anyways,
Cody, you got to tell me about this here in a little while.
What's that?
Cody, he passed on a bear tonight, so you got to tell me about it in a little while.
Yep. So, but yeah, as far as, I mean, like I said, I've got one spinning reel, but that thing's gonna go with me every single time I go fishing. Like I said, you can't doubt a spinning reel. So for sure.
But,
Yeah, and like John was saying too, he can hand a charter a spinning rod and get him on some fish much easier than a bait caster.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Especially you got somebody. Yeah, I mean, I've been with guys before, like especially saltwater fishing for big reds and trout.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all call them specks, I think. And
speckled trout.
Speckled trout. And so, I said, hey, do I need to bring anything? I was like on vacation, and I ran to Walmart and picked up a rod. I mean, just to have, but no, I got everything, and every one of them was a spinning rod. Every time the hand you.
Oh yeah,
it's a whole lot easier.
Yeah, down here with the saltwater, I mean, most
you can't go wrong.
Saltwater, we're throwing spinning reels all the time.
Yeah.
Mostly like 4,000 or higher, depending upon what you're doing. If you're going out deep sea, you get into the bigger size.
Yeah.
$5,000 reels if you're out there like deep sea fishing for like tuna and swordfish and stuff like that. But
my goodness.
I priced a charter for that, and I said, no, thank you very much. Y'all have a good day. I did. I called a guy. I wanted to get one tuna. All I wanted was one tuna. I would have been happy with it. Bring it home. Cut the steaks out of it. Because I eat fish. Unlike a lot of people, don't eat fish.
I eat a lot of fish too, but
they catch them and do this number to them. I'm picking on Doc and John about it, but
oh yeah, no, like the bass that we catch, we don't eat now. I mean, the crappie, when we we call them down here, speck, because that's what we call them.
Plus, I mean, some people around here call them speck too.
Yeah.
Crappie is a whole new term, and that comes along with that big crappie circuit. I mean, we've always called them white perch. So,
and we called them goggle eye.
Goggle eye, that's a totally different critter down here.
To see me, goggle eye is bait that we'll use out in saltwater for like snook and tarpon and stuff like that. But yeah,
goggle eye for him.
We eat the crap out of the speck that we catch. I mean, if it's a keeper, it's getting filleted and we're eating it. Bass. I used to eat a lot of bass when I was younger and stuff, but now that as I've gotten older and stuff, I can't tell you the last time I harvested a bass. It's all catch and release.
In all fairness. And because I love to joke, especially with John about it. I know we have this little thing going back, especially with Rob. But if I'm on public water, I release my fish.
Yeah.
If I'm on public water, but with that pond that we got,
you got to
manage it. And if we don't manage it, then the fish, we're not gonna have any fish.
No, you'll have plenty of fish. They just won't be but about that big,
that long, and
that big around.
Yeah.
So we have to take some fish out of there, and it's just got to the point where we just take whatever we. I'll keep 4 or 5. I think the last video I did, I actually released a fish that normally I would keep, but we just went, let's just go ahead and throw it back, just so I could have it on film. So people can see that I actually put a fish back in the water.
Yeah, but like as far as the goggle eye, what we're talking about, a goggle eye is probably the perfect mixture between a brim and a smallmouth bass. That's what we call it.
Warmouth.
It's a warmouth. That's a warmouth.
Yeah, Molly.
Okay.
Goggle eye is a warmouth. That's what we call them anyways.
I'll never forget my dad coming in. I was a kid, and he brought this Outdoor Life magazine into the bedroom. He says, "Man, we got a new fish." I said, "What?" He said, "We got this thing called a crappie." And I said, "A what?" And then he showed, and he goes, "Yeah, here it is right here." So I opened it up, opened it where the thing was, and the guy had a stringer of goggle eye. I said, "Dad, it was a goggle eye." He goes, "Yeah, I know. They're calling them crappie now." So.
Like I said, for years and years, if you say white perch around here, people know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same way as saying crappie anywhere. People know what you're talking about, but around here for years it was. And I know now that white perch is a completely different critter. You know, it is. But we don't have those around here. You know, we've got the hybrid bass, and we've got a few striped bass, but we do not have the white perch per se. And that's all they are, is a hybrid bass with no stripes. So
yeah, and you know, we get the term speck because they call them speckled perch.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, see, some people around here call them speck too. So I mean, I understand. You know, I get that terminology when you're saying that too. So, but
and y'all have yellow perch?
Oh no,
down here no.
Okay.
No.
So we have a yellow perch,
Yeah.
and I was here, and no offense to my northern brothers, but them Yankees were saying they were catching these yellow perch, and I couldn't figure out what they were talking about until I saw one, and I said, I know what that is. We got those here too. We just call them red fin trout because of that little bit of a red fin they got on the bottom of them.
Okay.
And we've always called it red fin trout.
Say the only trout we got, you got to go to the ocean to get those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't. No
And
trout
that's,
here.
that's the same thing. Saltwater trout. Those are fun little mustard mouths. Yeah, their mouths are so yellow. And they get those like that one or two like tooth right up front, like a vampire tooth.
Yeah.
If you ever watch My Fishing Life with Gary, he's part of our group. You know, he's constantly out there on over in Sarasota Bay, just killing what we call trout down here.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I've lipped one by once.
Once. And that's the only time you do it.
And it's the only, you know, I reached down. I mean, I caught this fish, and I went to reach down. I heard the boy who was with me says, "Don't do it." I mean, it was too late. I just put my hand in there. I mean, went slap through my thumb.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sitting there, you know, doing like this number.
That's about like a jackfish. I lipped one of them one time.
Oh, the
I've never
jacks.
lipped
Yeah,
a jackfish.
they got tiny little triangle teeth right there in the bottom.
They bad. They'll
Yep.
rip you open.
And I got to tell you, you know, Jack Creval and stuff. A lot of people don't like them. You know, because they're not like that game fish that you can eat.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, pound for pound, you hook a jack, that thing is going to fight you to the back. I mean, it can be this big, and it's going to fight you to the back of the boat no matter what. I mean, they're fun to catch. They're a heck of a game fish. They're just not real. A lot of people don't eat them, but I've never tried one. I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh no, you should try them. You should smoke them." I was like, "Nah, I'm not going to do that."
I could see where they would be good. So it's about like a bowfin, you know. You catch a bowfin, that thing's gonna fight the entire time. So,
hey, Lee Evans, how you doing?
And I hate when you hook it in them bowfin and you think it's like, you know, the biggest bass you ever caught, and it looks like it from far away, and you get it to the boat and you're like, God dog it.
I was fishing a tournament one time, and I was catching fish on a weightless Cinco. And I'm talking about I was working with them. I done caught about 20. All of them were about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. And I'm sitting there I'd catch one, look at it, throw it back, because, you know, just trying to upgrade. Well, there was one clump of grass, and it wasn't big as nothing. I flipped that Cinco in there, and it went down and just dunk. I was like, oh, that's going to be a good one right there. I popped the hook in it, and that joker just stretched me out. I said, oh, man. And there was a guy fishing that tournament watching me do it. And he was going the other way. I got that bowfin in the boat, and it was about 8 pounds. It was a good one, you know. And I threw it over in the boat and got it off, and I threw it back. When I got to the weigh-in, he was telling everybody I had a 10-pounder in the boat. He said, I don't know what y'all going to do. Jeremy's got a 10-pounder in the boat. He said, y'all done lost this.
Well, he didn't say it was a 10-pound bass. He just said it was a
10-pounder.
he didn't. He didn't say nothing about no mudfish or bowfin.
Yeah.
When the white plastic worm first came on the market, you know, of course, you hear back then, for those of y'all who are too young to understand this, Back then, everything came through magazines. There was
Yep.
no such thing as the internet. There was no such thing as cell phones.
It was catalog shopping only.
It was catalog shopping only.
I used to love the Bass Pro Shops catalog when it would come in the mail, and you would you would get it, and you would write your name in, mail it away, so they could mail it to you.
Yep.
I love that. Oh man, and especially at Christmas time, it was like that thick at Christmas time. I was like,
yeah.
You got a huge book.
I'd go straight to the waterfowl section. That was the first thing I did.
Yeah, most kids like my age at that time were looking forward to the Sears catalog.
Yeah,
I'm like, where's the Bassmasters? Or where's the Bass Pro Shops? Where's Bass Pro
Let's
Shops?
bring it
I
on.
want Bass Pro Shops.
Hey,
Yep.
Sure
I can still put my hands on. I still get it. But when the white worm first came out, everybody said you had to fish a white floating worm. Well, nobody knew how to fish it. Number one, and I mean, and finally somebody said, "Well, you just put a hook in, no weight." And I was like, "What do you mean you don't put a weight on a thing? How you gonna cast it without a weight? It's too light." Well, I went and bought the tackle store that we had didn't have them packaged. He had them in these big bins.
Yeah,
and he sold it. It was sold by the pound.
Yeah,
I mean, you didn't have to buy a pound, but I mean that's how it was. You just reached in there and grabbed a handful and stuffed them in your bag.
Yep.
Well, I must have got 100 of them, and I took them up. I paid for them, and I said, "I'm going to try this." We went down to the Santee, and we were across from the boat landing in the trees, and I went through every one of those worms that morning, and did not catch the first bass. All I caught was mudfish. That was it. And I caught some good ones. I mean, 5 and up. I mean, I think there was one in there that went 12, maybe 13 pounds. But it wouldn't catch I said, man, this is a worthless bait. All it's good for is a mudfish.
It's just catching garbage fish.
And I came back to the hill, and there was a fellow at the boat landing, always fishes right there. You got a little cane pole, and he's fishing off the pier. And he asked me if I'd caught any fish. I said, "Yeah, I caught a bunch of mudfish." And he looked and said, "You got them?" I said, "Well, no. I mean, we throw them back." He looked at me and said, "Mister, I'll pay for mudfish." I said, I'll be back.
I'll be right back.
I went to town. I mean, I didn't even load my boat up. I left it at the land. I said, "You watch my boat." And I left. I unhooked the trailer, went back to town, grabbed another 100 worms, went back there, and I probably caught 15, 20 fish in the middle of the day on mudfish.
Yeah.
Came back and was throwing them out on the bank, and he go, "How much for that one?" I said, "The whole pile. I'll sell you the whole pile." He said, "Well, how much?" I just laughed. I said, $20. He pulls a $20 bill and he scooped them fish up. I said, "When the next time you coming? I'll bring some friends."
So what time you want me here?
I said,
Exactly.
I said, next Saturday, I'm gonna bring a bunch of fellas with me, and we're gonna fish for mudfish. And all we fished was a white worm. We all caught mudfish, and there must have been, I don't know, 25, 30 people at the boat ramp when we got back wanting to buy those fish.
Damn.
We were selling them. We had a $5 pile, a $10 pile, a $20 pile.
Wow.
And we were selling them, and it wasn't, I don't know, 4 or 5 months later, they started actually having mudfish tournaments.
Oh, hey.
Having mudfish tournaments.
Sounds like y'all had a problem.
Yeah.
Dude, the last time I seen a mudfish was in that pond that we got, and he went straight to the bank and got beat to death with a board with a nail through it.
So we got them around here, but it ain't. They ain't an excessive amount of them, I mean, they're here, but they're not bad.
Hey, Cecilia, how you doing?
Jeremy, where are you at?
West Monroe, Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So I'm around the Duck Commander crew.
Jeremy's where I want to be.
Yeah. I don't know why it's too dang hot.
Oh.
Yeah. It's too dang hot down here.
Yeah, it was hot today. We had a cold front come through on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it dropped us down to 85.
Yeah. That's about, we're 83, 84 during the middle of the day right now. And we'll get like 70 for a low. So, but we got a cold front. We got a cold front coming this weekend. It's supposed to be about 73 for a high, and they're claiming 48 for a low. So
oh wow,
we'll see.
Yeah, because we got, I think Sunday morning the low was like 72, but yeah. I mean it was every bit of like 85 to 88 by mid afternoon.
Yeah. So that's about
real quick
going right.
Real quick, Cecilia, we're doing good. I believe our Canadian
Cecilia.
friends, they have their Canadian Thanksgiving today or sometime soon. So Cecilia said she's going to be cooking her Thanksgiving, and so any of our other Canadian friends, happy Thanksgiving, I guess. That's what it is.
Is that what it's called? Is it called Thanksgiving?
That's what she said.
Or does America own the rights to that? I'm not sure.
She said it is Thanksgiving up here, and I'm cooking. So I'll leave this on, may not respond. Thank you for understanding. So.
Yep. So,
all right. I never had a Canadian Thanksgiving. I wonder, do they serve bacon or what? I don't know what they do.
Canadian bacon.
I'd probably eat it.
I don't know if Cecilia can hear us. She said she has it on. I don't know if she's able to respond, but what exactly consists of a Thanksgiving dinner in Canada? Like, I mean, obviously here everybody's got their own traditions where you're, whether you do a fried turkey or you throw it in the oven or, you got your stuffing and whatnot, Actually, let me ask you guys that and everybody else in here. Turkey for Thanksgiving, you frying it or you putting it in the oven?
Fry.
Clearly, you can tell by all of.
Well, I don't even have to ask you, Jeremy, because listen, I got a good buddy of mine. I got a great buddy of mine. He's originally from St. Bernard Parish.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a big LSU fan and stuff, and we call him the corn dogger. Because everything in Louisiana smells like corn dogs because everybody fries everything down there. So
fry everything.
So I didn't even have to ask you, Jeremy, what you do because I know you're frying that turkey. But what do you do?
I fry a turkey.
Yeah, see, I do as well. I won't.
The only
eat any other way.
The only time I don't fry turkeys on Thanksgiving Day is if me and my wife happen to be at her mom's house up in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And by far, she makes the best baked turkey I've ever eaten in my life.
Yeah. See, my mother-in-law, she will bake one and we'll fry one. So we'll have two different turkeys. And you just kind of go through there and pick whichever. But she does a good baked one.
And that's exactly what we do down here. My mother-in-law, she makes a hell of a baked turkey. But I'm always the one that's doing the fry one. I'll do it with I'll inject it.
Yep.
And then I got to use the Tony C's seasoning on the outside.
That's right.
Got to get that chartreuse.
Can't help it.
I'm a slap your mama guy. So I'll inject it with Tony C, but the outside is coated in slap your mama.
It's hard to beat that Tony Sasher's
it is
injection. It's hard to beat it.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, the turkey I do is like all Tony C's. It's injected with it, and then I get on the outside.
Yep, sure enough. So that's some good eating.
Oh yeah. No, we I guess our Thanksgiving is pretty much traditional. I mean, it's a turkey. Generally, it's fried. If I'm doing it, it's fried.
Yeah.
And then you got your, you have a combination of mashed potatoes and then sweet potato casserole, green bean casserole.
Yep.
My wife.
I can't do that green bean casserole. My wife makes a very good one, but I can't eat it.
Oh man,
it's really good. Like it's really good, but when I sit down for my my Thanksgiving dinner. I got my turkey that I made. I'll do the taters. I'll do the stuffing, and then I'll do the roll.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it for me.
Oh yeah. No.
See, we got mashed potatoes, sweet potato casserole, green bean casserole. My wife makes the best in the entire world cold potato salad, but she can't eat it unless it's warm. And I eat potato salad, her deviled eggs. We have 2 types of cranberries.
Yep.
She has the canned cranberries, the canned cranberries.
Yep.
Gotta love
gelatin that you pull out. It's got those lines are straight for cutting.
I love it.
Yep. my wife eats that. I usually get the homemade cranberry sauce. Or a combination of both.
Nobody gives
gravy,
me the homemade
dressing. Has to be Hawaiian rolls. The Hawaiian rolls. And,
the King's Hawaiian.
And then I have then beside me that everybody else gets it, but not this is what's beside me, and it doesn't go anywhere. Everybody else has to fend for themselves. But I get 2 gallons of sweet tea. And that's my gallon, and nobody else can have it. They can go and make more or whatever.
We don't do the King's Hawaiian rolls. We have the wholesome three humps. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about. The little old rolls about like that big. It's got 3 humps on the top. Ooh, I can make myself sick on those.
Yeah, see, we'll do the King's Hawaiian rolls too.
Yeah. So, but yeah, love those things.
Hey, Jay. Jay Bainlow's in here. They just dropped off a dog to the owner.
What's up? Ooh.
Now, did you guys hear that they I don't know if you watch the news much, and I try not to, but I just happened to catch it. I want to say it was a couple days ago, but they're saying that there may be a turkey shortage coming.
Well, Jay just said that on. Really? Jay just popped that up in chat.
Oh, all right, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, that's fine because I've got plenty of deer roast and ducks, and I'll fix something, Oh,
we'll come up with something. Hell, I'll do crappie.
Oh yeah.
Jeremy's half Cajun. I mean, he'll just drive along to the road and he'll find something on the side of the road and take it home.
I mean, deer season's open here now. So
yeah, well, it's open 24/7 where you're at.
Well, probably. I'll tell you what I do got. We may be having a hog roast. Shoot, I got more hogs this year. Good Lord.
I got 2 Boston butts in the freezer. I mean, I'll smoke those if it gets that bad. I mean, you're saying there's no turkey.
I honestly think that they're causing it. I think the media is causing it.
Absolutely. There's no doubt.
Because what's going to happen is just give you an example of it. Remember when that pipeline got
hacked or whatever?
Okay, so that pipeline got hacked. Now, that pipeline does supply a lot of gas to certain portions of, the East Coast over here, right?
Yeah.
All right. So the news reported that the pipeline was hacked. There's going to be a gas shortage. Now, everybody down here in South Florida started panic buying gas.
Hey, same way here.
And that pipeline does not supply anything down here in South Florida.
Nope.
So there was a gas shortage here, but it wasn't because of the pipeline. It was because of what they put on the damn news.
Exactly.
That all these idiots started going, I need gas. And you literally saw it on social media and all that other stuff where you got people. There were people filling up gas in Publix bags, plastic bags.
I seen some of that. I knew that come from Florida.
The funniest one was that lady was filling up that plastic bag, and it just breaks all in front of her.
Yep.
Well, no, it broke in her car. It actually
broke in her car.
Yeah, it broke in her car.
And see, this is why I was talking about in our live on Friday night. We got to start taking the warning labels off of everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We need to start taking the warning labels off of everything and just
let it take its course.
Exactly.
Exactly. So I mean, it's crazy. It's just like here though, like you said, during that whole deal, it started to be a gas shortage here. Now, why in the world, if something is happening there, would it affect us?
Right.
Yep.
I mean, period. That makes absolutely no sense. But this here devil of a social media is the one that caused all that. Everybody got to claim it. Same way during last year when there was a toilet paper shortage. I mean, geez, toilet paper, come on.
That blew my mind.
Hell, I kid you not, we found a roll of it in the woods. I did a video on it. I kid you not. I did. We found a roll on a tree limb.
Somebody was pissed they forgot that.
Oh, yeah. But it was on the tree limb. It was funny as we were coming out of the turkey woods.
Yeah.
Not last season, but the season before.
Yeah.
And we were coming out, and there was a roll of toilet paper on a limb. I said,
That's cool.
He goes, what? I said, there's a roll of toilet paper, man. We're going to do a video on this.
Here, hold on. I want to show you something. Hold on. I got to get something. Hold up.
But yeah, that's this whole media age we're living in now, where you get it everywhere you go. You know, it's in the palm of your hand constantly. Man, it's freaking nuts. It's nuts.
So when all that was happening, you know, I work at I'm a teacher, right? So
yeah.
Now in my room, my classroom, I teach television and film production. So I have a really large classroom. And then off of my classroom, I have our news studio because we do the news every day for the school and stuff. And so I have a 3,000 square foot television studio. Wow. And the janitors, I will let them store certain things in some of our cabinets that we have, because what'll happen is they run out of room for their things and they leave it there, because a lot of the stuff they got to take care of in our building, it's easier for them to keep it in my cabinets over there in the studio than it is for them to go all the way back across campus to get stuff. So when the toilet paper shortage happened, I was like, hey, in case things go sideways, am I cool? And they're like, oh, yeah, you're cool. So I got these.
But see, that's the problem. Stuff went sideways. That's ridiculous.
And I got a bunch now. It's one ply. Okay, it's one ply. But it's huge.
Yeah, ain't no doubt.
And I grabbed a couple of them, and we never used them.
Yep.
That man's sitting on a gold mine, don't even know it.
He was, anyways.
Oh, he's still in. Trust me, it's right
I
after
could have
again.
sold that for a couple $1,000. I should have.
So
that's kind of like that video where that guy's got that wood chipper.
Yeah.
And he's picking up the wood chips off the ground, and he's putting them in little dime baggies and selling them for $20. Get you a little sheet, put it in a baggie. Hey, $15.
But I mean,
Jay, that's funny. Jay said that's one visit to the bathroom for his kids.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the truth. That is the truth. I've got 3 women in this house, and
So do I. So do I.
Ooh, they're gonna break me with toilet paper. Toilet paper is garbage. I do not understand. I have never understood this. I don't buy enough stuff in a month's time to make as much garbage as they do. Where does it come from? I mean,
Jeremy,
where does it come from?
I am with you. Like, I literally, okay, I got home from work, and I got home late from work today because I'm normally home at a decent time, and I didn't get home till just about 6 or so. And my wife's like, oh, garbage got to go out. I'm like, all right. I take the garbage out.
Yep. Full as a tick. Can't fit anything else.
Put a new bag in there. We got done with dinner. I look in there. It is full. 3/4 of the way full. I'm like,
yep. How? Where?
Where
did it come from?
What went into this?
Hey,
how many kids you got?
And I'm like, in the big one's at dance. I was like, there's only 3 of us here right now. And I damn sure know I didn't put anything in here.
Yeah. Instead of finding Bigfoot, that's the new episodes they need right there. finding out where the garbage come from.
A new reality show. How many
That's my
kids
next
you got,
YouTube
Doc?
video. I'm just gonna put the GoPro at the bottom of the garbage can.
There
and
you go.
We're gonna scientifically solve this.
Oh Lord, where did the toilet paper go, and where did the trash come from?
Oh, I know
Doc,
where the toilet paper goes. The little one, she gets on there. She's just like,
I'm pretty sure they got the
Oh, yeah.
little roll right there. They stick it in there and just let it go. Let's see how much it go down in one whack.
kind of just like,
Yep.
That's good
Let
enough.
it
It's
go.
like, what? Like, are you drying a dog? What are you doing?
What? How many kids you got, Doc?
2,
Both girls
both girls.
and Jeremy.
Both girls, 2, both girls.
Yeah. Okay. So if you think there's a lot of trash now, wait till they're teenagers.
Well, I've got one teenager.
Wait,
do you?
wait till they get 13.
I've got a 13-year-old.
Okay, so it's going to start doubling.
I'm speaking it right
So
now.
my situation's gonna get worse.
Yeah, it's going to get worse.
Yep.
Ah, heck.
How old's your oldest?
My oldest is 9.
Oh Lord.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna get a lot worse.
In about 3 years, it's going to start, and you're not even going to notice it.
See,
And
my
then-
youngest is
And then when
8.
your youngest gets to be about that age, you'll start saying, "What in the world's going on?" And then all of a sudden, you're going to remember this conversation, and you're going to go, "Oh,
Oh yeah.
Oh, Matt was right.
Yep. Yep. My oldest is 13 and my youngest is 8, about 8.5. So I'm living
and
it right
Cecilia, and Cecilia just posted why."
now.
And then you add the 13-year-old to it, and then if you can't figure that out, ask your wife later.
I like what John said about the firewood that they sell down here.
Oh yeah,
They get like 5 pieces. They're probably about a foot long. They wrap them in plastic, and yeah, they sell them at Publix and whatnot for like $15.
Yeah. They try that around here too. They don't work too good.
You know what we do? What we do is we go get what we call Florida firewood,
Yeah.
and that's pallets.
pallets.
There you go. Yeah.
Because my father-in-law, he's a welder and metal fabricator.
Yep.
And he's had his own welding shop for over 40 years now.
Uh-huh.
And he gets stuff delivered there to the shop and everything, and we just save the pallets. And when it does get time to light a fire, which is, I don't know, like maybe 4 or 5 days out of the year, we
Yeah.
just go over there and hack them up and throw them in the fire pit.
There you go. Clean out the nails later.
Uh-huh.
So.
Oh,
No, I
the
ain't
girls,
even thought
love, the
about
girls
that.
love it after
Pallets
Christmas
that I
when you
get.
get the real tree and throw the real tree on the fire pit in the backyard. That thing
Yeah.
goes up like that, and
Yep.
then it's gone, and they're like, more. It's like, we ain't got another Christmas tree.
We ain't got no more.
It's like, go steal the neighbors.
Yeah, it's funny around here at Christmas time. Usually about 2 weeks after Christmas, everybody's throwing their Christmas trees on the side of the road to be picked up.
Take them out there and put them out in the
And-
lake.
You'll see.
Yep.
That's what I was going to say. You'll see all these old guys riding around in pickup trucks and trailers,
Yep.
slinging them on the back,
That's right.
and they're taking them down to the lake, make crappy beds out of them.
That's
Uh-huh.
exactly right. So. Well, I hate to cut it short on my end, but my phone is just about to die.
All right, Jeremy.
All right, Jeremy.
Y'all be good.
Take
Be
care of
good,
yourself,
man.
bro. He's always good for a laugh or two.
Oh, yeah. And that's the first time I've ever actually seen Jeremy, like, on a live.
Yeah. He used to come on mine all the time, especially on Monday nights, because for me, Monday night is just, how was everybody's weekend? What's going on? Let's just whatever. It's the Wednesday night that I try to get a little more specific in my niche,
Right.
And doing that kind of thing.
What question, Anti? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the chat.
I know he asked you if you were looking, and then
looking for what? Toilet paper?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
He said question. Hold on. I'm trying to go back to the chat to find out what he asked.
All right,
hold on. I think I might have found it. Daddy Duck 365 at Coastal Fever TV. Florida question. Other people call yellow-tailed jacks. No, we don't. If that's the question you were asking, Anti, yellowtail for me is a yellowtail snapper, or we call them flags. Jacks, like the jacks that have the yellowtail, those are called Jack Crevalle. That's what we call them, or at least I've always called them, are Jack Crevalles. But yellowtails to me, if you say yellowtail to me, then I'm thinking of a yellowtail snapper or flags, which they're really good eating, really good.
I'm the same way, but I don't fish that much saltwater anymore like I used to. Occasionally I'll get on some spots or trout, but I got a good friend of mine who loves to flounder fish. I mean, he loves it. He's always asking me to come down, to fish, and I don't mind fishing for flounder. I like to cast too much. I like to move around.
Yeah.
And sitting there and bumping the bottom with a bait, I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, I get bored really quick that way too. See, like that's why, and I haven't done it in a while, and I need to. And John and Lindy and I tried one day to go out snook fishing, but the tide wasn't right. We just didn't have any luck. But I love fishing like the backwaters, and the flats and stuff for snook, redfish, and trout, because it's like saltwater bass fishing.
Yeah,
you're using soft plastics and crankbaits and suspending jerk baits and things like that, and it's a lot of fun. But at the same time, if you are using live bait, like you're using a shrimp or you're using a mullet, it's not, you're bumping it on the bottom. Even if you are bumping the shrimp on the bottom, you throw it out and you're still kind of working it like you would like a soft plastic worm or something. So you're not just kind of like casting and then just sitting there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And what about cobia? You ever fish for cobia?
Yeah. And unfortunately, I've never got one.
I've caught one.
But that's some fun fishing, especially like when you see like, because they'll hide under like those big manta rays. So like when you're out there, if you see a big manta ray, in the water, you're trying to cast to the manta ray, and they're gonna, if there's one, they're gonna be under it. So it's a matter of getting your bait like in front of or behind that manta ray, and I've hooked one under a manta ray, but lost it, and I've never been able to actually boat a cobia. But I've had friends that I was out with that got them, and they are great eating fish.
Oh yeah,
they are great eating fish.
The times that I have gone, it's basically looking for any type of floating structure, a board. Yep. Seagrass, that's floating on top, a mat of weeds or mat of, marsh grass or something that's floated out. Anything that's any type of floating structure. I've known some guys in the past to take plywood and put those big crab pot buoys on them.
Yep.
And flip them out and then leave and then come back, put 2 or 3 of them out, and then come back and start fishing them again. And I've seen them do that. I've caught one. Wasn't that all that great? Wasn't the big fish like you would think when you think cobia? You're thinking 40 plus. Yeah, and I think mine was about 9 or 10, but it was still the first cobia I ever caught. It's the only cobia I ever caught.
John and Lindy,
I just don't get to fish saltwater that much.
John and Lindy are heading to Sebastian Inlet one day this week. Catch some bait and fishing. That'll be good for the snook for sure. Maybe even some tarpon. What Anti say? Yeah, some Floridians will look at you like you're crazy. Others say, sure, yellowtail jacks. Yeah, I guess it kind of just depends. I've never heard anybody from where I'm at. I've never heard anybody call them yellowtail jacks. It's always just they're just jacks or a jack crevalle.
Was it Mark going on? Oh, okay. He's going live tomorrow. Okay.
Oh, Mark's going on tomorrow?
Yeah, he's going to talk about his elk hunt.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And I've caught all kind of rays. Just little sand ray. Well, I call them sand rays. I mean, I don't know the difference. I know what a manta ray is, but I've never caught one of those. But I've caught regular just sand rays.
Yeah, I think I told the story on one of our lives when we were down in the Keys, down in Marathon, and we were fishing off of the 7 Mile Bridge, and hooked into what we thought was a huge grouper, just the way it was just like stuck on the bottom and trying to pull it up. And it literally took, like I said, I have a bad shoulder. I've dislocated this shoulder 4 times. And just trying to sit there and horse it up. I was having a hard time. I mean, my shoulder at that time, I was like, yeah, it feels like it might want to roll out again. Yeah. So it was me and like 2 of my buddies, and we're like just lifting this thing, and finally got it up off the bottom. And what happened was the ray had got itself wrapped in the line. But the ray was probably literally a good solid 4 feet across.
Oi. Hey, Rattle Trap, how you doing?
So, but I've never hooked into a manta ray. Those things, when you see them out in the ocean, I mean, they are huge. Like it's really cool. Those manta rays are really neat. And what did Anti say about had a ray on and Marco Island, but he caught a shark. Yeah, I've hooked into a few sharks in my day out there fishing saltwater on the flats, or out fishing for dolphin.
Thank you for calling it what it is. I hate when people say mahi mahi. I hate that. I absolutely hate it. It's a
mahi mahi.
Laura Explorer's in here. Welcome in, Laura.
Hey, Laura.
John said that's your pole dancing arm.
Oh yeah, that's how I did it.
Yeah. I wasn't there, but we were. One time I lived in Bluffton, South Carolina, which is near Hilton Head, if you know where that's at.
Yep.
And a buddy of mine was fishing the river called the May River, and he was casting. There was a small group of sharks, and he was casting a saltwater rattle trap and catching these little sharks. And they weren't big. They were 2-3 foot, 2-3 foot long. He'd get them, pull the hooks out, throw them back.
What kind of sharks were they?
Little, what we call sand sharks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just a little I guess some people call them dogfish or sand sharks or
Yeah.
yeah. Well, anyway, he cast it out, and I guess they had moved on or whatever, but he had cast it out, and he was ripping this rattle trap back, and something huge. He hit something huge, and he set the hook on it, and he fought it and fought it and fought. It was dragging his boat. He thought he had a big shark. Again, I wasn't there. Wasn't with him at the time.
Okay.
He fought this thing, and it was. He said, I kid you not, Matt. I fought this thing for 3 hours on pretty much bass tackle. I mean, just pretty much bass tackle. And he got it started. It finally just came to the surface, and he had foul hooked one of them sea cows.
Oh, a manatee.
A manatee. He had foul hooked it, and it was just embedded in its back.
Oh,
and this thing, it just kept going. It wasn't, he didn't bring it up. It just decided to come up.
Yeah, it said, all right.
Yeah, whatever. And he looked down there, and it was like, he didn't know what it was. He had never seen one. He had heard of them, but he had never seen one. And, it said it scared the bejesus out of him. He had no clue to what it was.
I've never hooked one. I mean, I've seen plenty of them. They're awesome. They're so cool, and luckily I've never hooked one. But I remember one time we were fishing out in this area that we normally go saltwater fishing. There's two kind of like areas. It's called Big Munyon and Little Munyon Island over here where I'm at. And we were over by Little Munyon, and we were throwing some live shrimp on some jigs in basically what would be like the edge of the flat as it dips into the channel.
Right.
And at a certain time of the outgoing tide, there'd be some redfish, big reds that would sit right there and just start, picking off bait. So we threw in there, and I hook a couple of them. Not real big. I mean, they were slot size, but threw them back. We weren't keeping any that day. And then all of a sudden, after I threw about like the second one back, I hook in to one, and I just lay in, and like all of a sudden it just it gone. I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. So I've got probably at the time, looking back at it, I had the wrong setup for what we were doing. I had a 3,000 reel on, still had braid, but had a fluorocarbon leader on it. And this thing takes off, and it goes basically like under the boat, and I'm like this and go around, and it starts heading back into the flats. So we get on the trolling motor, we're following it, and I'm reeling, and it's just still peeling, and I'm reeling, and it's still peeling, but we can't catch up to it. If we got ground on it, it would just start running again. And I could not believe, by the time we got up to it, that this fluorocarbon leader held on as long as it did, because I hooked into probably a damn near 8-foot bull shark.
Ooh.
And we get up, and we probably got a good, I'd say maybe about 10 feet from the bow of the boat to the shark, and I could see it, and it just come up and was just kind of doing like this. And I'm like, I looked at my father-in-law, I said, that's a big freaking bull shark. And right as I said that, it thrashed, and we were only probably in about like 2 feet of water, or at least the shark was. We were probably in about 3. Thrashed, and then
Pink.
That was it. But I sat there. We chased that thing around for a good solid half hour. And like, I was beside myself. I was like, I cannot believe that fluorocarbon leader did not slice
earlier. Yeah.
that entire time.
Real quick, I want to say hey to Ty Bodiford, really good friend of mine. He's in here tonight.
Hey,
He
Ty.
likes to fish, brim fish, and fish for warmouth up in the swamp. Wanda, where's Wanda? I saw her in earlier. Wanda, she's in here, and I guess Kathy's got to go back to work building call lanyards because David's whipping her or something. So she's gone. She's leaving. But let's see who else came in. Oh, here, Ty hooked in a huge spotted ray once, peeled out all my line and snapped. I'll tell you, I was not alive. These are stories that when I was a kid that old men would tell me before the Santee Cooper Lakes were born. So this would have been what in the 1930s. And I was a kid and they were old men back then. But they actually spotted manatees up the Santee River. I'm in the middle of the state.
Wow.
And they would actually spot, not all the time, it's not like it was every day like y'all have, but they every now and then somebody would say that there was an underwater pig, and that's how they described it, as an underwater pig, a pig that was swimming underwater. And I do know that at least from what I've read, I think this is as far north as they go when they migrate. But they don't migrate that often. So
they cannot stand that cold water.
No.
It's actually really cool. There's right here near me, there's a power plant a little bit south of me, the Florida Power and Light. It's one of their plants they have over at the Port of Palm Beach. And right out of that plant, there's a big pipe goes under the water, and it comes out, and it's a warm water discharge. And if the water down here, when we get cold fronts, if the water dips down below a certain temperature, you'll see all of these manatee go into this pocket. And they're all like you could literally walk on them. There's so many of them in there. It's really cool to see. But they're all bunched up in that little warm water, discharge, trying to keep warm. Yeah. But there'll be hundreds of them in there, just sitting there. We see them all the time. It's actually really rare for me not to see a manatee when we go hit the salt water down here. And Ty, no, I've never ate a guitar fish. I've caught a couple of them, but I've never ate one.
I don't even know what one is. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no clue to what even they look like. I'm gonna have to Google it later.
When you first see them, when you first hook them, it does as you're pulling them up. They resemble a shark, but they're kind of like a mix between a shark and a ray. They're flat on the bottom. Their mouth is on the bottom. Think of maybe kind of like a sawfish. Have you ever seen a sawfish?
Yeah.
Okay, kind of like a sawfish, but without the long saw nose. It almost goes to like a point, just a stub point. And it actually, if you do hold it up from its tail and the way it's shaped, it does look like a guitar.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even. If I caught something like that, I'd be running probably.
Now, the first time I caught one, I was pompano fishing, on the beach, like surf fishing. We had the big surf rods with the PVC pipe stuck in the ground, and had just the sand fleas on pompano fishing, and guitar fish hit one of the rigs, and I was I thought maybe I had a permit, because you'll every now and again you'll get a permit when you're pompano fishing, and I was like, this is it. I got a permit. I got a permit because it was fighting. And I bring it up. I was like, oh man, it's a shark. I was like, oh wait, what the heck is that? And I had no idea. And I don't know. I want to say I was maybe like 16, 17 at the time, and there were a couple guys older than me that were a little bit further down from where we were fishing, and they had come down because they saw me fighting this thing for a while. And I pulled it up, and they're like, "Oh, you got a guitar fish." I was like, "You messing with me?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, I thought they were screwing with me, you know." But no, it was a guitar fish.
Huh.
John, walk on. This sounds like a plan for a Yee video.
Yeah.
You walk on those. You touch those manatees or walk on them. That down here, that is a federal offense, and your butt's going to jail.
Hey, Shiner, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, Rob?
All right, so Ty says he saw a manatee in Lake Moultrie once when he was a teenager. Catfishing late at night off the dock freaked him out. Now, Lake Moultrie, the Santee Cooper Lakes are comprised of two lakes, Lake Marion, which is the upper lake, and Lake Moultrie, which is the lower lake. And he saw one on Lake Moultrie, which would be the bottom. That's cool. I've the only ones I've ever seen have been when we went to Florida one year, went to Key West. And as we're driving down there, you know, they had the some of these little roadside places you can get off where they say there's a lot of manatee, and you know, you get off and you know, it's like a tourist attraction, you know. Yep. And they're swimming everywhere, you know. But
did you ever when you were heading down to the Keys, did you ever stop off at Robbie's?
I was a kid when we went down there.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm talking about, you know, a kid.
I don't know if anybody in here has ever been down to the Keys and gone to Robbie's. That's a neat place. There's you can hand feed tarpon.
I've seen people do it. I've never done it.
And I'm talking big tarpon, like huge tarpon, like 6 feet and bigger tarpon. And you get your bait, hang it over the side of the dock, and they come up and just whoop. You know, it's really cool. It's in Robbie's is a neat place. It's a whole bunch of little bars and little like restaurants and all outdoor area, but it's one of those big tourist attraction destinations when you go down the Keys, you know, stop off at Robbie's and feed the tarpon. It's neat. It's really cool.
The only two places, actually there's 3 places that I remember, 4, want to make it truth, is we went to the east side of the island and dipped my foot into the east side. Then we drove to the other side and dipped my foot in over there. So I could say I'd been on the, you know, East Coast, West Coast.
So you did the Atlantic and the Gulf.
In the Gulf, yeah. And then we went to some place, and I can't remember the name of it, but we got the original key lime pie.
Okay, so that's in it's in Key West.
It was in Key West. It was the original. I
remember.
You know,
yeah, I can't remember the name of it.
And then, of course, we went to Ernest Hemingway's house, and that was it.
Oh, okay.
And again, I was a kid. I mean, you know, 12, maybe 13 at the time, you know, when we went down there. And heck, I slept half the way down there. So, you know, you get a kid in the car for a long drive, we're out.
Yeah, you're out. Yeah, I like when we go down there. Gosh, I want to say it's been. I think my oldest daughter was 3, and she's 9 now. So, and that was the last time we were actually all the way down to Key West. Most of the time, we'll stay like, you know, Marathon. We don't go down as far as Key West, or the, you know, like Tavernier, or you know, like Key Largo area. We'll stay up in that area, Isle Morada.
Yeah.
And you know, now, you know, we got the girls, and I'm not driving all the way down to Key, because for us, you know, driving to Key West, it's about a 4-hour drive from where we are to get, you know, from our house to get all the way down to Key West. So it's about a 4-hour drive. But if we go to, say, like Key Largo or even Marathon, you know, you're only looking at about 2 hours, 45 minutes to get to either one of those. And that makes it a lot easier, when you got the little ones in the car.
Right.
So, but hey, speaking of the little ones, the wife is texting me. She's like, time to get in here and get these kids down. At least she texted me and didn't come out in the garage, That was nice of her.
Start yelling. It's time to get in. You got to quit playing. Come on in the house. Start flicking the light on you.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, flick the lights. Well, she can't mess with the garage lights from inside the house, so I'm good there. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and duck out, Matt. And
all right, brother.
I appreciate
you coming up, man.
No, man, I appreciate you having me on. I had a good time. It was really cool.
Cool beans.
Nice way to kind of unwind after we got dinner done and everything. And now I'm gonna get the youngins down, and hopefully I won't have as long of a day at school tomorrow. Today was a long one.
I hear you. All right, brother. Well, you take care of yourself.
All right, man. You do the same, and I'll pop in on Wednesday night.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right, bud. Take care. Good night, everybody.
Does anybody else want to come up tonight? I got about 25, 30 minutes left. Anybody else want to come up tonight? If so, just tell me in the chat, and we'll get you up here. We're just going to have just talking about whatever. Let's see here. Brent Bass and Beyond, how you doing tonight? I saw you come in and just couldn't say anything right off the top. Let's see. If anybody else I've missed, I apologize. Well, we're just talking about anything and everything tonight. I think he's done gone. All right. Yeah, I think Flavor Flav had a pretty good trip. Is what it sounds like to me. He got his elk. Doing well for a Monday, yeah. I think we are. Any day that I'm still breathing is a good day nowadays. Anybody want to come up for a few minutes, tell a couple of stories? Let me know. You know what, Ty? I agree with you there. There ain't much on them, but yeah, if you fry them hard and holding hard, yeah, they wouldn't be bad eating. All right, John, take care, buddy. Well, nobody wants to come up with me tonight. I'm just having a good time, joking, cutting up, telling stories. Jeremy, you still in there somewhere? Or did you lose your charger? Cody, you still in there tonight? Have you gone? Anybody? But anyway, we were talking about fishing and whatnot today. It's just been kind of one of those mornings, one of those evenings rather. Ty has said, I don't know if y'all caught it in the chat, but Ty said they've seen manatee up on the Cooper River here in South Carolina. I've never seen one here. I think it'd be pretty cool to see. All right, so Mark's going live tomorrow at 7 Central to talk about his trip. Okay. If y'all get a chance and listen to what Mark has to say, if you don't, Cecilia, could you put his channel in the chat? Mark J. Larson's channel, if you can. If you can't, let me know. Hey, Daniel, you still here? Have I ever seen a sturgeon in Santee? I have never seen one, but when I know that a guy caught one, I know for a fact, on the Watery River, just south of the bridge. Just south of the bridge, he caught a sturgeon, didn't know what it was, had to get the game wardens and biologists out there to tell us that it was a sturgeon. May I bring up cooking on lives? Yeah. You have a particular question, or you want me to do a cooking segment on a live? Thanks, Cecilia. I appreciate that. Y'all want to listen to Mark's exploits in elk hunting? He will be live tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Time. Y'all click on him if you haven't already. Hit him up with some support, and that way, and don't forget to hit that bell and ring him some notification so you'll know when he goes live for that tomorrow night. Y'all have sturgeon in Northwest Florida. Huh. I didn't know that. Well, you welcome, Monica. It's all about the love here. All right. I don't think we have enough sturgeon to actually go fishing for sturgeon. I think he was catfishing when he caught it, but he did catch it in the Watery River. And that was... Oh, that's crazy. Daniel, that's real crazy. I saw your comment on that poll that I did, and I've been thinking about it. I just gotta figure out how to do it, because a lot of things that I do is when it comes to cooking, not only do I started off on the inside, but then I'll take it out to the grill or at Cody's eating. Okay. I'll take them out to the grill, and anything that I do on the inside usually takes so long that it might not be done by the time I'm done with the live stream, but I'll look into it. I will look into it. Yeah, I'll be Hi, Suey. How you doing? Hurry back to see. Steak and potatoes. That sounds good. I'll be up there in about 40 hours, all right? I guess I could do something simple, like maybe do a perlo, a Dove perlo. That's simple. That's easy. Short nose. Atlantic Gulf and short nose. Huh. All right, Rattle Trap. Enjoy your meal. Cook something with shrimp for Cody. Yeah. Yeah, Anti, let me see if I can I might whip up a perlo, kind of start it off, and then because it'll take me probably about, depends on how big I make it, 30, maybe an hour and a half to cook a good perlo. Rob, I think you could turn his stomach just by mentioning the word shrimp. Well, I do have some ducks in there. I mean, I do have some in the freezer right now that I shot in Kentucky. I could do something with them. Something very simple. And there I am, 4 minutes behind on the stream. Duck all orange. Oh, I don't want to bake a duck. My goodness. That's the only bad thing about, if you're going to do that, Irene, you got to bake it. And it can be so finicky sometimes. Are you serious, Rob? I've never seen a live one. The only ones I've ever seen people have caught on TV or on YouTube. Yeah, and that's true. And I mean, a lot of people, you know, one of the biggest things you got to remember when cooking ducks is don't overcook them. And everybody wants to cook the blood out of them. Well, there's no blood in them to begin with. If you fillet the breast out, there's no blood in them. That's water, and it's not blood. It's water in the meat. And the only reason it's red like blood is because that's the color of the meat. But I may, I'm gonna have to think of a way to do that. I'm gonna have to think of, because I would have to start it inside and then take it to the grill. I don't have any whole ducks, and if I was going to do whole ducks, I'd probably do a video on it because of the time frame. Just trying to read up some of this chat here. But you know what, Shiner? I still would like to go. I'd like to go out to the Midwest one day and ride those rivers when they come jumping out of the water, catching them with nets. I just think it'd be fun. I don't know what you do with them. I don't know if you can eat them or not. All righty. Well, yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun. It'll be something to do one afternoon. Try to catch them in them dip nets. Well, guys, I've been here almost 2 hours, and we'll see if I can get somebody else to come up. I hate to cut it short, but we're just kind of having a fun night tonight, and just getting people up here and talking and goofing off a little bit. But I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Got a few things I'd like to get done before this evening's over with. But I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming in. I sure do appreciate it. Yeah, I don't have a remote mic, Anti. I have to get one of those. I don't have one, and I don't know yet how to stream with a GoPro. Not even sure if I can do it on a GoPro 7. But anyway, guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. I appreciate each and every one of y'all who came in. I had a really good time tonight. Don't forget about Mark J. Larson tomorrow night. And I will be back possibly Wednesday. I'm not sure yet. I've got to go somewhere Wednesday morning and get some things done. Some personal business got to get taken care of Wednesday morning. And then I got to start decorating this house for Halloween. So I don't know if I'm going to be here Wednesday night, but I will try. I will do my best. So I know there's a lot of great live streams that go on Wednesday night. So I may just skip this one. Don't know yet. So don't hold me to it yet, but just let y'all know that I may not be here. But anyway, guys, listen, y'all have a great night. Appreciate you coming in. Everyone in here has got some good channels. Y'all need to go check each other out. If you haven't already, I think everybody here does, but just in case. So y'all have a good one. Take care of yourselves. And we will see y'all next time on Daddy Duck 365.